5:30, so let's call to order this meeting. It is Monday, December 2nd. Jordan, would you start us off with a roll call?
Please respond by stating present. Councilmember Ronayne.
Present.
Faubourg.
Present.
Liebelt.
Present.
Ward.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Reinbold.
Present.
Langer.
Present.
Nordstrup.
Present.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Present. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Start off this meeting by approving the agenda. I'm not aware of any changes, so I would take a motion to approve it as printed. Second. The motion, Councilman Northrup, and a second, Councilman Ward. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Next, we've got our approval of the minutes, which was from our previous meeting last Monday, November 25th. I would take a motion to approve those minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Liebelt, second Reinbold. Anyone have any changes or anything to discuss as it relates to those minutes? All right, then all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries as well. We've got our consent calendar. We've got 6 items of routine city business. Anyone care to make a motion on that consent calendar?
So moved.
Motion Ward, second Northrup. Anyone have anything to discuss on any of these? We've got an event permit, retail liquor for a variety of businesses, raffle, mobile home park license renewal, taxi cab license, and setting a bid date for reclaimed asphalt and concrete. If nothing to be discussed, I would, all in favor then, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. New business here tonight. We've got a reappointment of a couple of officials, both serving on our Zoning Board of Adjustment. The first is Don Weigel. This would be for a 3-year term beginning at the beginning of this month on the 12th of December 2024. Don has been on there for, has it been one term?
Excuse me. He has had several terms. He's been on there quite a while.
He's got a few terms, willing to continue to go at it. I would take a motion to approve that appointment if someone would be willing.
Move to approve.
Renee, would you take a second on that?
Take a second. He's my old high school classmate.
Oh, is that
So,
right?
One old guy to another.
There you are. There you are. We've got a motion, Reinbold, and a second, Ronayne. Anyone have anything to say before we take our vote on that? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Same thing as before, but this one with a gentleman named Pat Schumacher, who's also on that Zoning Board of Adjustment. Same thing. It'd be a 3-year commitment beginning December 12th. You've been on there for a while as well?
He is just finishing his second term, I believe.
Okay, so re-upping for another 3. Would someone care to make a motion to support Pat Schumacher in that role?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Liebelt, second at Ward. Anyone have anything to say before we take our vote? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next, we've got our ordinance, which is titled 24-1201. Sets fees and charges for a variety of services here in Aberdeen for 2025. Jordan, would you walk us through those? I know that you've attached them and you've sent some emails on the topic. Give us the high points, would you?
Thank you, Mayor. This is an annual fee schedule that encompasses all the fees across the city services. Attached is also a document that includes more than specialized fees for parks and recreation services. Their fee schedule is longer than ours, so they make their own document. But what you'll see within the fee schedule includes several small increases across the board. As of course, the water and sewer are the big heavy hitters in our chart of accounts. So those fees are, as we've discussed, going to see more of an increase. Since I distributed this to the council in the council packet that was distributed last week, there are a couple changes, which is I will identify here. Just give me a moment, please. Within the council packet, that was the fees were slightly higher for some nuisance fire alarms. The fees for the third residential nuisance fire alarm would be $100. The fourth commercial would be $100. The fifth would be $500, and the untimely improper report would be $150. The ladder truck per hour should be $95 per hour, not, I believe it was $100 in the packet. The rescue truck should be $90. Crew rates for fire should be $30. Medic per hour should be $30. And then there are various hazmat fees for cleanup, including the cleanup fee of $100, hazmat materials, including boots, gloves, and an MSA cartridge for $160. So those items were not originally included. I have since distributed those to the council, the newspaper as well, so I've tried to get the word out there. They will be included in what is presented as first reading. Staff have made no additional changes since this was distributed, but I just wanted to be clear that those additional items are included, but were not necessarily in the packet that was posted on our website. Back to the schedule in general, you'll see that the water sewer rates are listed. We're somewhat limited in how we can bill due to our software. We're in the middle of a software upgrade as well, which adds to the complexity of what we're doing on the water sewer side. But what you'll see is the water and sewer rates are generally less than what was contemplated as a result of the rate study. Other than that, fees are generally flat, slight increases in certain areas. Staff recommends approval of the fee schedule as presented.
I'll move it.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Ronayne and a second from Councilman Northrup, and I would like to spend just a bit of time on that water and sewer charges, because that has been a big point of focal emphasis here in the community. And you had distributed to myself, at least, and I'm not entirely sure who else got the chance to see it, but a little spreadsheet that had updated rate changes, and it looks as though after a lot of push and shove, we've been able to minimize that impact on what the fees will ultimately end up being in 2025 to about 15% increase for most users across the board.
Generally, that is correct. I would say residential users. There are slight increases in the base fees for sewer, or connection fees for water, which may deviate more than the 15%, but that's generally the rate. There's significant projects that we're discussing. The water tower has not been bid yet. There's major construction projects at the water plant, which would have been made necessary subsequent to the rate study. So there are a lot of moving parts here. This should set us up for where we need to be for 2025. I'm hopeful that we don't have to come back mid-year and ask for more of a rate increase. This should provide the funding we need for this year.
Thank you, Jordan. And so just for the people tuning into this meeting, that's going to mean a much smaller than anticipated increase for a majority of users.
That's correct.
Thank you. Appreciate your work on that. It was fun to go through that with you. Is there any other questions from the council or any other items to discuss? Go ahead, Councilman Johnson.
I'm looking on page 7 under the parking enforcement schedule, and it lists street sweeping maintenance. I know that we have published schedules of street sweeping, but in residential areas that will remain a voluntary thing. Is that not correct? Mm-hmm. Under what conditions or circumstance would there be an assessed fee? Or is the city just waiving that and having something in place?
So, in a situation where, for instance, like Klein Street, contractor needs to clean up the pavement after the project's over. They don't really have the equipment to do that. So they'll have the city come in and give the pavement a sweeping, and we charge them for doing that. Because that's part of their contract is to do that cleanup, so. That's, I think that was your question, right, Alan?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was.
so that would be one situation where that would be something that we would charge for the street sweeping for that.
So one of the spots where, let's just say that an area like Stu's talking about needs some significant work, we would put up signs that tells people,
Sure.
we're gonna be doing some street maintenance in this area. And it may be street sweeping, it may be general maintenance of an area. Those might be times where
Sure.
we would have to bring in a tow truck, move vehicles if they just simply are not moving after a full day of having signs up, that type of thing. But
Yes.
it is not part of that regular schedule like we
Sure.
used to have. So.
Sure. Okay. Thanks for clarifying that.
And then it looks as though the recycling charge might go up. Jordan, you were thinking mid-year too. That'll be something to keep our eyes open for.
Robin and Stu may be able to provide more info on that. I believe the recycling contract would be up in 2025, or is it 26?
I was thinking it was
I thought we
26.
just signed the contract with them this year, didn't we? Or was
It's
it
been
last
a
year?
couple, but there is an escalation clause in that, I believe. So there's a possibility that we may be needing to bump that. It would be dependent on that contractor.
All right, any further questions from the council as it relates to fee schedule?
Yeah, just one other
Councilman
comment. I am pleased to see that so many of the rates remained the same, carrying over from 24 to 25, that there's not an increase. That's good news. I was also curious with one other question, Jordan, maybe you would have the answer. For golf cart permits, as shown there on page 6 of these fees, has that been a popular thing? Have we had very many of those?
I don't have the information on that, but Dave, would you be able to provide some insight there?
Yeah, I would say it's popular in the sense that people took advantage of it. I think we sold 40 or 45 licenses since we began the program.
Great.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sounds good. Well, Jordan, if there's no further comments from the council, we've got our motion, we've got our second. I'll have you go ahead and give me a roll call vote then, please.
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Foberg,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Nordstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next is a possible approval and authorization of our city manager to sign the Airport Terminal Program Grant Agreement. And here we have Transportation Director Rich Krokel to walk us through the impact of that. Tell us about that grant.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So about 6 months ago, we applied for some funding that became available through the state. And the Aeronautics Commission liked our project, so we were selected as, in addition to, I think, 4 others. But what this project is, it's going to expand, or actually move the baggage handling equipment room. And you all should have these drawings in your packet. So that's going to create additional space in the former baggage handling room to where we can move the CT-80 bag screening machine that currently sits in the middle, or not in the middle, but sits out in the terminal. And that'll put that back into a sterile area where really it should be. And there's a possibility that we actually may be upgrading that machine as well to handle long guns, hockey bags, golf clubs, things like that. So this is for $1.2 million. SB 144, Senate Bill 144 is the grant. And we're asking for Robin to be able to sign and accept the grant.
I'll move to approve. Second.
Motion Johnson, second Reinbold. And what is the breakdown of the cost that we'll be responsible for?
I've got another 800,000 coming, but that'll determine what we're gonna be responsible for. It was a 40-60 grant, but then we found this other money,
Sure.
so bring that to you.
Sounds good. So
Was
it might
the
almost-
other money in your other pair of pants, or where does it come from? I had that same question.
Could you repeat that, please?
He's wondering where the other money's coming from.
It's another airport improvement terminal grant that's available.
Perfect, great.
But
It does
between
look like a great change to the airport. You know, having that equipment right now, right out in the lobby, is at least a little awkward. And as you put it, it's non-sterile, and so this does look like a much better environment.
Correct.
Definitely would agree. All right, we've got our motion, our second. Answered the questions. Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Foberg,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you,
Next, we've got our list of bills for this week. I would take a motion, and payroll is from November 17th through November 30th.
Move to approve bills and payroll.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson, a second from Councilman Ward. Jordan, would you give us our final roll call vote of the evening?
Councilmember Ronayne,
I abstain as to payments to Neil and Joan Bellica and to Plains Commerce Bank, but vote aye as to all other matters.
Councilmember Foberg,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. City Manager's Report with Robin Bobzien. Robin, what have we got here this week?
Well, it's going to set up to be a fairly busy week after I've been gone for a couple weeks. It's almost like I'm starting a new job again, but we've started doing performance evaluations for the year on staff. Stu is the guinea pig this year, and we got through that one and look forward to doing those with a lot of the staff. It's always good to have that conversation with the staff and find out where they'd like to see their departments going and what we'd like to try to accomplish together. So, and then there will be several appreciation certificates that I've put off for the last couple weeks that we'll be doing this week as well. So I'll be visiting Rich tomorrow. So that's all I've got for today.
All right, thank you very much. If no one else has anything, I would take a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor,
No, go ahead,
can I
Councilwoman.
quickly change my vote on the bills and say I abstained from the Dakota Bank TIF? I missed those when I read the agenda.
Jordan, can you make sure the minutes reflect that abstention?
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Move to adjourn the meeting.
Motion Johnson, second Norvstrup. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We're adjourned. Very good. Thank you all very much.